If you're someone who is kind, capable, and giving, but yet day in and day out, you're feeling depleted, you're feeling like you're exhausted, and you have this inner sense of almost like resentment building up in yourself, it's likely you're struggling with this. The fact that is that most women who are those high achieving, capable types, giving of themselves, they struggle with feeling like they can actually protect themselves. I know this was a journey for me and something that I have to come back to time and time again to realize I am worthy of protecting myself. I remember a time when I was struggling with boundaries. I had this really challenging relationship in my life, one that left me feeling completely exhausted, one that left me feeling like my whole system was on heightened alert, feeling like I would be sitting there getting a text message from them and my heart rate would go up to 115. And I'm just looking at this like, oh my gosh, how do I handle this? Because instead of looking at how to protect myself, I looked at what's going to happen if I actually say this. And I curated every single word. I overthought everything and read their message and tried to figure out how exactly I can say this without causing a huge rift in the relationship, thinking that the entire relationship was on my shoulders, so that I had to be the one that carried it. I took on that emotional burden. And I remember going to a practitioner at the time because it was such a challenging time in my life. And it was almost like I wanted her to say, "You are allowed to protect yourself." I wanted someone to give me permission to protect myself. And you probably feel like that too in times if you're watching this and you're someone who is constantly depleted, constantly feeling the burden of taking care of everybody else. Or maybe you struggle to set boundaries. Maybe you struggle with not relinquishing yourself for somebody else's comfort. This is such a huge challenge for so many women, and especially so many capable women, because the truth is, you're used to being the independent, strong one, the one who puts on the face, holds it all together, but you're the only one who knows what it costs you behind closed doors. And maybe you're desperately wanting someone to give you permission to finally protect yourself. And what I realized through my own experience is that I didn't feel safe enough to actually protect myself because what I worried about was the consequences of protecting myself. I outsourced my safety in relationships. And subconsciously, I believed that if the relationships looked like peace, then I should feel okay. And that the number one priority was to keep those relationships in harmony. And I sacrificed myself time and time again. I stayed silent, didn't speak my truth, and I overthought, ruminated on everything just to make sure the peace was kept in that relationship. And this is one of the biggest challenges that I see in so many women, so many capable women, that you're waiting for someone to give you permission to finally protect yourself. You're waiting for somebody to say, it's okay to take care of you. You're waiting for someone to say that the boundary that you can set will actually give you some peace. But the thing is that I find so many times you're thrown bad advice, like you have to just create that boundary and things will be okay. And it doesn't work that way because boundaries don't work unless you feel safe enough to set them. And if you're someone who has outsourced your safety, if you're someone who looks and reads the room to feel a sense of calm and you feel the energy in the room and you feel responsible for keeping that energy at bay, setting a boundary can feel nearly impossible because inevitably it's going to change something. And it feels unsafe to do that. And if this is resonating with you, if you know that boundaries maybe are the answer to some kind of peace in your life, but the minute you feel like you're going to set it, the minute you feel like, okay, I'm finally going to protect myself, or I'm finally going to stick up for myself, or I'm finally going to stop over giving, there's that like inner resistance of, but how do I do this? And what if? What if that relationship falls apart? What if they're mad at me? What if there's backlash that I have to suffer because of this. It's all those what ifs that keep us stuck in this cycle of overgiving, overextending, and feeling like we prioritize others' comfort over our own. And this is what I found in myself and so many women that I've worked with, that boundaries will never work until you feel safe within yourself. This all comes down to the fawn response. It's actually a survival response that you learned, that you became attuned to other people's energies and you left yours behind. This is where you slowly erode your essence in the name of feeling safe, because relational safety meant you were safe. And if somebody else is happy with you, if somebody else is validating you, if somebody else is comfortable, then you can feel safe. And you became very in tune with other people. But the thing is that you became disconnected with yourself. And that's where the issue is, because you no longer relied on yourself to give that sense of home and safety within yourself. You handed that power over to someone else subconsciously. And if this is resonating with you, if you feel like, yes, this is what I'm experiencing right now. I deeply just want to feel a sense of safety and calm and peace in my life. I want that, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to actually implement that. I feel like I know what that could look like, or that feels maybe just so foreign to me. I don't even know how to get there. Then I invite you to my masterclass tomorrow night on January 22nd. In this masterclass, you're going to learn how to regulate your nervous system so that you can feel safe in yourself without having to outsource it to others. You're going to learn how to set boundaries without the guilt pulling you back into the same patterns. And you're going to learn how to finally trust yourself. Know that you're someone who has your own back, and you're going to give yourself that permission to finally take care of yourself. If this resonates with you and you are ready to step into that version of you this year and allow 2026 to be the year that you finally live the life that you want, not what everybody else wants, then I invite you to join in the link below. And I will see you tomorrow night, where you can finally feel at home with yourself. Thanks for joining me.